never made it, but I know what it takes. I'm motivated by a mix of emotion. Got my statement, and I'm reading it slow so I can understand it fully. Appreciate my standing, go out of this world and right on time. Oh, never in my life have I seen the sky light up like this. I'm far away from Earth and I wanna know if you exist. Mission control, do you read me? Send me my coordinates lately. Mission control, am I drifting? Tie me to someone who will love me, yeah. Wait, I think I'll last a bit longer. Fine.
Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone to another Ref Brandon and the Todd family YouTube video. Wherever you are, whatever you may be doing, thank you so much for making Ref Brandon and the Todd family a part of your day. We always greatly appreciate it. It is a hump day, Wednesday. Hard to believe it is the last Wednesday in the month of July, but that's what it is. Today, in this week's Top 10 Countdown, we're going to again be discussing college football, because I think it's best to have a lot of Top 10 countdowns about college football when you are counting down the days to the beginning of college football. And again, this week, the Top 10 Countdown about college football is brought to us from College Football Trash Talk Nation. I check their page 3 to 4 times a day only because there's so much stuff on there, and a lot of it is just like the name says, it's just trash talk, but a lot of it's actually serious stuff that gets posted on there to get the fans hyped about the season or to get you discussing a certain topic. So even though the name is College Football Trash Talk Nation, don't think that it's all trash talk, because it's not. Some of it is serious stuff, and a lot of the serious stuff you can find on their page, but it's something they've posted, but it's from ESPN or CBS or Fox Sports. So a lot of times the serious stuff is not even actually written by them. It's just something they post from another sports website. But this week's Top 10 Countdown is the 10 toughest places to play in 2023. Number 10, Camp Randall Stadium, which of course is the home of the Wisconsin Badgers. Number 9, the Oregon Ducks and Autzen Stadium. Number 8, Husky Stadium. And if you can't tell by the name, that is the home of the Washington Huskies. Number 7 is a stadium name that I just hate saying because they pronounce it wrong. I don't know how you can have a tough place to play when you don't even know how to pronounce it. But number 7, according to Auburn, is Jordan-Hare Stadium. I've never understood that because Jordan is Jordan. You can try to tell me the backstory until I'm blue in the face, but Jordan is Jordan. But according to them, it's Jordan-Hare Stadium. And number 6 is Michigan Stadium. Again, 10 through 6 is Camp Randall Stadium, Autzen Stadium, Husky Stadium, Jordan-Hare Stadium, and Michigan Stadium. If I was ever doing play-by-play on TV and I was doing a game at Auburn, I would probably say Jordan-Hare Stadium 15 times during the game, not intentionally, just because when you think about the name or you see the name, you see Jordan, you're going to say Jordan. It's hard not to. Number 5 is the home of the best team in America. You either like this team or you're wrong, and that is Memorial Stadium, home of the Clemson Tigers. Number 4, we go to Tuscaloosa, Alabama, home of the Alabama Crimson Tide, and that is Bryant Denny Stadium. Number 3, another stadium name that drives me crazy, Happy Valley, Pennsylvania, the Penn State Nittany Lions and Beaver Stadium. Number 2, Neyland Stadium in Knoxville, Tennessee. And the toughest place to play in 2023 is Tiger Stadium in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, home of the Louisiana State University Tigers, better known as LSU. Now, I don't exactly know how they factor in which stadiums are going to be the toughest places to play this year. Now, I know a lot of times, a lot of these stadiums like LSU Stadium, Tennessee Stadium, Michigan Stadium, Clemson Stadium, Alabama Stadium, those are pretty much going to be on there just about every year unless the team is flat out awful. Now, I mean, all of a sudden, if LSU goes 3-9, then their stadium ain't going to be that tough to play in. But generally, those teams, as long as they're good, their stadiums are going to be on here because it's such a tough environment, especially for a night game. They say, according to rumor, that you have not been to a night game until you've gone to an LSU night game because there's just nothing like it. So places like that are always going to be on the countdown, but a lot of the other stadiums and other schools are, on a rotating basis. They're not on this list every year, so I'm really not sure what puts them on the list to be so tough to play in this year, unless it's just because of their home games. Obviously, you play the majority of your home games against your conference opponents. So maybe if you have your tougher games at home, that makes your stadium, a tougher place to play in. Because if you're a big time team and you're playing, all the bottom feeding teams in your conference at home, but you're playing the better teams in the conference on the road, well then obviously your home games aren't going to be that tough, because usually what makes your home games so tough is the crowd, because the crowd needs to be loud, and the more often they're loud and the louder they are and the longer they're loud, the tougher it is for them to play you at home. But if you play all the bad teams in your conference at home, more than likely by halftime the game is decided. And in order for it to be a tough home game, it needs to be a good game for at least 3 quarters. And, if you're Michigan and you're playing Rutgers, or if you're Georgia and you're playing Vanderbilt, or if you're Alabama and you're playing Vanderbilt, well, then obviously that home game is not going to be that tough, because by halftime, it's over with. Half the fans leave and go home. And now that most stadiums, if not all, sell alcohol, games like that, by halftime, the fans are so drunk, they're quiet, and the game sucks. So you do need to have tough home games in order to be on the list. But it's funny, because if you talk to most fans, if the game is a blowout, and I know I've heard this personally from several fans, whoever their team is, if they play somebody that's no good and the game is over by halftime, they'll say, man, I just want to play a good team. I'm tired of getting all hyped up for my team to play, and then Saturday comes around and by halftime, the game is decided. I want to see a 4-quarter game. I want my team to win, but I want to see a 4-quarter game. But then all of a sudden, when they see a 4-quarter game and it comes down to the end, you see them again, they'll say, man, I think I lost 5 years of my life on Saturday. I didn't think I was going to make it. Man, I got so into it. And I always tell them, be like me. Don't get excited. If you win, good. If you lose, good. But it's funny how you get mad when the game is over at halftime, but then when the game comes down to the very, very end, you have a heart attack and die. I think I'd rather win the game by halftime than take a chance of going down to the very, very end and having a heart attack and dying. That's just me. But I don't do all that hollering, screaming, and jumping up and down, so really, maybe I ain't got a dog in the fight in that argument, because I don't know whether my team has the game won by halftime or if it comes down to the last 5 seconds. I ain't jumped one time, I ain't hollered one time, I ain't screamed one time. Any thoughts on this, please feel free to let me know. Homes for Our Troops is a publicly funded 501c nonprofit organization that builds and donates specially adapted custom homes nationwide for severely injured post 9/11 veterans. Since the 2004 inception, nearly 90 cents of every dollar spent has gone directly to our program services for veterans. Visit at hfotusa.org. Let's go ahead and get our dad joke of the day in here. What do you call a belt made of watches? A waste of time. And that does it for today's Ref Brandon and the Todd Family YouTube video. Until next time, it's Ref Brandon saying, just like in pro wrestling, life can be over by the count of 3. Tell your friends and family how much you love them. Bye.